Hello and welcome to the Manager Support webinar. Today's topic is UT Health San Antonio COVID-19 leave. My name is Michelle Mata and I will be your host for today's webinar. Today's presenters are Albert Contreras and Matthew Grove. Albert is the HR Service Delivery Manager in the Office of Human Resources and Matt is the Senior Attorney in the Office of Legal Affairs. At the end of this webinar, individuals will be able to understand what the Family First Corona Response Act is and how it affects UT Health San Antonio, understand UT Health San Antonio's alternative approach, and learn the steps to request leave. Now, let me turn it over to Matt.
On March 27th, the Family First Coronavirus Response Act and the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act were passed by Congress and became effective law as of April 1st, 2020. The new law requires covered employers to provide additional paid leave to their employees that have been affected by the pandemic, subject to limitations as outlined within the law. In essence, the law primarily focuses on employers who have limited to no paid leave benefits, as well as jobs that do not provide the option to work from home. Healthcare entities can exclude themselves from the benefits under the new law, specifically the emergency paid sick leave and the expanded family medical leave. UT Health San Antonio is committed to providing support to our community during this time. As such, UT Health San Antonio has chosen to exempt itself from the provisions of the law that allow it to exclude emergency paid sick leave and the expanded family medical leave. However, we are committed to implementing a solution that supports the intent of the law with our current leave policies. Now I'm going to turn it over to Albert Contreras to talk about the benefits of UT Health San Antonio's approach.
The benefits of UT Health San Antonio's approach includes this. It allows for employees to receive 100% of their employee rate of pay for all eligible leave. Sick and personal leave are available from day one of employment. We already have established policies and process in place, and it's less administrative burden for both the individual and UT Health San Antonio. With over 20-plus different leave options, UT Health San Antonio offers an expensive leave, which provides an alternative solution that supports FFCRA's intentions and objectives while providing additional benefits to our workforce. The proposed solution provides employees with the ability to maintain 100% of their regular rate of pay utilizing various leave types already provided by UT Health San Antonio. The focus of this offering is for those individuals who are not able to work from home, they become ill, or they're caring for an ill family member. The alternative benefit solution focuses on utilization of sick leave, state emergency leave, vacation and personal leave, leave without pay, and where needed, FMLA. UT Health San Antonio defines a family member as an individual who resides in the same household as the employee and is related to the employee by kinship, adoption, or marriage. A foster child of the employee who resides in the same household as the employee and who is under the conservatorship of the Department of Protective and Regulatory Services. A minor child under the age of 18 of the employee, regardless of whether the child lives in the same household. Sick leave for members of an employee's family who do not reside in the same household may only be taken to provide care to a spouse, child, or parent of the employee who needs such care as a direct result of a documented medical condition. Sick leave cannot be used for an employee's parent-in-law if they do not live in the same household. Situations of where emergency leave may be requested. In all cases, employees will need to exhaust sick leave, then apply for emergency leave. The following could be situations a UT Health San Antonio employee might face. Employees under a federal, state, or local quarantine or isolation order related to COVID-19. A healthcare provider recommended individual to self-quarantine due to concerns related to COVID-19. The employee is experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 and is seeking medical diagnosis. The employee is caring for a family member who is subject to a quarantine or isolation order or a healthcare provider recommendation to self-quarantine. They are caring for their son or daughter because of school or child care closure due to COVID-19 precautions. The employee is experiencing any other substantially similar condition specified by the Secretary of Health and Human Services in consultation with the Secretary of Treasury and the Secretary of Labor. It is important to note that all leave is subjected to the employee's current leave balances. For those employees who have contracted or have been in close contact with individuals with COVID-19, they are to get clearance from Wellness 360 or provide documentation from the healthcare provider prior to returning to any UT Health San Antonio facility. In those instances where you have employees that are needing some child care, UT Health San Antonio has a child care matching program which provides a database of potential child care providers from the UT Health San Antonio community to match with faculty, staff, residents, and fellows who need child care. You can access this child care matching program by clicking on the link and to request, whether you want to request for child care, register as a child care provider, and view additional child care resources. How do I request leave? Follow your normal processes for requesting leave, whether that be sick, vacation, and personal leave. That should go through your departmental process. A leave of absence without pay should be also approved by the department in conjunction with speaking with the Office of Human Resources. Emergency leave is requested at the departmental level. Supervisors must track emergency leave and report that information to the HR leave administrator. There is a form available on the COVID-19 HR Continuity and HR Services link. The tracking form will be sent to the department, and emergency leave is ultimately approved by the Office of Human Resources. Please note that departments should not request any medical documentation from employees. These documents should be directly provided from the employee to the Office of Human Resources. If you have any employees who have contracted COVID-19 or is in care of an immediate family member, please inform HR as this employee may qualify for FMLA. I'd like to walk you through the various request forms as well as tracking. And first we'll look at the state emergency leave request form. The state emergency leave request form has been added to Microsoft Forms where employees can access and submit the information online. This improves the efficiency of the request process as it's sent directly to the Office of Human Resources. While a paper request form is available, we are advocating that the online form is completed to improve the processing time. Should an employee not have access to complete the online document, supervisors may submit the request on behalf of the employee. Something to point out on the request form is the ability for the individuals to upload the necessary documentation, and it is important to make sure that the submit button is clicked below. The utilization of sick leave and emergency leave should be reported on a weekly basis. If you click on the link below, it will take you directly to a Microsoft Forms page, which will allow you to download an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet has been formatted to track your employees' usage, both on sick and emergency leave, and this information must be sent to the Office of Human Resources on a weekly basis. The tracking of emergency leave is critical as usage of it is required to be recorded to the state comptroller every October 1st.
For this webinar, we have put together a list of questions that we feel that would probably be relevant and anticipated based on questions that we received for other FMLA requests. So the first question is, will the FMLA run concurrent to all other types of leave?
If the employee qualifies for FMLA, then yes, FMLA will run concurrently with other types of leaves. It is going to be important as managers that you become aware if your employee is sick with COVID-19 and or is in the care of a family member who has COVID-19, that you inform the Office of Human Resources because this can be considered a qualifying event where we'll need to extend FMLA.
The next question is, if someone has recently exhausted FMLA, will they be awarded an additional 12 weeks?
FMLA is managed on a rolling 12-month period. So an example for that is if an employee begins using FMLA on December 1st, 2019, and they fully exhaust the 12 weeks, the employee would not be eligible for FMLA until December 1st of 2020.
The next question is, will the employee have up to 12 weeks leave when everything is combined?
It is possible that long-term employees have significant leave balances could potentially be on leave for up to 12 weeks or beyond. This will need to be managed at the departmental level. For non-FMLA related situations, such as the school or child care closure, An employee could exhaust all leave and request a leave of absence without pay for a combined total of 12 weeks. We do ask that the department work with the Office of Human Resources to manage these types of leave of absence requests.
Is there a possibility to have a large number of our clinic staff out for up to 12 weeks?
Given the how COVID-19 cases continue to evolve and increase, it is possible that a large number of employees may be on leave. It's going to be important to work with your strategic HR partner in helping developing a workforce plan and to include any redeployment effort.
What if my aunt, uncle, mother-in-law, or other family member not living in my household gets COVID-19?
So sick leave for members of an employee's family who do not reside in the same household may only be taken to care for a spouse, a child, or parent of the employee who needs such care as direct result of a documented medical condition. In this situation, it's going to be important to utilize vacation or personal or emergency leave. This is where sick leave wouldn't apply to this situation.
And what are the available options to request emergency leave?
Yep, so we have provided the request for emergency leave based on a web application. This is going to improve the efficiency of the processing, allowing people to upload their documentation, which gets sent directly to the Office of Human Resources. While we do have a paper form for employees to complete, we are advocating that they use the online portal to submit the information. In cases if an employee doesn't have access to the internet, we will allow the flexibility of managers submitting that information on their behalf.
Thank you, Albert. Please keep in mind that we are receiving and evaluating guidance from federal, state, and local governments daily, and all information in this webinar is subject to change. Please visit the COVID-19 Leave website for updated information.
Some additional resources that I would like to cover is we continue to update UT Health San Antonio's COVID-19 website. The source of truth of things surrounding COVID-19, we are following the CDC's website. And we are continuing to update the Office of Human Resources SharePoint page. For the request for emergency leave, we have dedicated a page within our leave administration labeled as COVID-19 emergency leave. So this will take you directly to that request form. In those instances where you have employees that are having a difficult time during this pandemic, it's essential to inform them of the various benefits that they can get through UT's Systems Employee Assistance Program, and you'll be able to access that information through that link. For any specific policy questions, you may refer to the Handbook of Operating Policies by clicking on the link. Majority of the policies of leave are within Chapter 4. And for those positions that do allow the flexibility to work from home, we have a dedicated page to support managers through the work from home planning process, and you may access it through that link there. Should you need additional guidance, whether that be on the utilization of state emergency leave, any leave questions, any questions from working from home, workforce planning, we ask that you reach out to the HR partners through our inbox at hrpartners@utesca.edu, and we will follow back up with you.
Thank you, Albert and Matt, for the Day's Manager Support webinar on UT Health San Antonio COVID-19 leave. Also, thank you to each of you who viewed this webinar. We hope you have found this information helpful. This concludes today's webinar. Thank you and stay safe.